Many people believe that the only ways to make money grow are through savings accounts or traditional stocks. But that's like believing there's only one road to reach a destination, when in reality there are hidden paths that almost no one takes. And it's precisely on these little explored paths where the biggest opportunities lie. Imagine you have a neighbor who leaves all his money sitting in a savings account. He thinks he's being cautious, but in truth, his money grows almost nothing because the interest rates are low. Now think of someone else who discovers private credit funds, where they lend money to solid companies and receive higher interest in return. Or someone who invests in peer-to-peer lending, financing small businesses, and being rewarded directly without banks in the middle. There are also those who take chances on startups, those companies that are just beginning but have innovative ideas. Of course, there are risks, but if one of them succeeds, the growth can be explosive. It's like planting a seed that seems too small, but one day can turn into a huge tree that gives shade and fruit for generations. These alternative investments are rarely talked about because they require curiosity, research, and courage. Those who ignore them keep walking the same crowded road where everyone competes for the same space. But those who dare to look sideways find shortcuts that can multiply their money much faster and smarter. Have you ever stopped to think that your money could be working in other countries, even without you leaving home? Most people only invest in what's right in front of their eyes: local stocks, familiar funds, or real estate in their own city. But the world is huge, and there are incredible opportunities that most people overlook. Think about it. While everyone rushes to invest in the same places, there are discreet investors putting part of their wealth into global ETFs, which are funds that bring together several companies from different countries in a single investment. This allows you, even if you live in Brazil or anywhere else, to be a shareholder in American, European, or even Asian giants without bureaucracy. Another example is real estate in emerging markets. Imagine buying a small piece of land in a city in Asia or Africa that today looks ordinary but is growing rapidly. Over time, that region could turn into an urban or tourist hub, multiplying the value of the investment. Those who saw it early reaped the rewards. It's like mining for gold. While many look at the same mountain, there are precious stones hidden in places where almost no one dares to go. The great investors always keep part of their capital exposed to international markets, both to protect themselves and to take advantage of growth in other countries. And here's the most powerful detail: you don't need to be a millionaire to do this. Today, with just a small amount of money, you can access international funds online in a practical and affordable way. Few people know this, and that's why few take advantage. When we talk about multiplying money, many imagine they need to start a big company, hire employees, and spend fortunes on infrastructure. But the truth is, we live in the digital age, and today it's possible to build low-cost businesses that fit in anyone's pocket and can generate scalable income, meaning income that grows without requiring more proportional effort. Think of an online course. You dedicate time to record your lessons once. After that, these lessons can be sold thousands of times without you having to repeat the work. It's like planting a tree that keeps giving fruit without you needing to replant it every day. Another example is e-books. If you have knowledge in any area, cooking, finance, languages, gardening, you can turn it into a digital book. The cost is minimal, but the return can be huge because you can sell it to people anywhere in the world. There's also content, licensing music, photos, texts, or even digital art that once created can be licensed multiple times. Every time someone uses it, you get paid a share. It's like creating something once and continuing to get paid many times over. The secret lies in understanding that the digital world breaks barriers. Unlike a physical store that serves only a neighborhood, An online product can be purchased by someone in Japan, the United States, or Portugal without you needing to open branches or pay rent. It's the power of the internet turning small ideas into valuable assets. Many beginner investors become obsessed with buying stocks that rise quickly, as if they're racing to catch the next big surge. But there's a silent and powerful way to multiply money that many ignore: dividends. Dividends are like small salaries paid by companies to their shareholders, usually in cash. Imagine you buy shares of a solid company that makes a profit every year. Instead of keeping all the money for itself, the company decides to share part of the profit with you, the investor. So, just for owning a small piece of it, you receive regular payments. Now here's the secret almost no one takes advantage of: reinvesting dividends. Instead of spending that money, you use it to buy more shares. This creates a snowball effect. The more shares you have, the more dividends you get. The more dividends you get, the more shares you buy. Over time, this cycle can turn a small amount into a fortune. It's like planting an orchard. At first, you only have a few trees. They give some fruit. Instead of eating them all, you plant some of the seeds. The next year, you have more trees, which give even more fruit. Repeating this process in a few years, you'll have an entire forest producing on its own. The curious thing is that many ignore this strategy because they think it's slow. But the great investors know that this is one of the safest and most consistent paths to financial freedom. After all, while others stress over market swings, those who live off dividends receive steady income, rain or shine. When people think of real estate, most immediately picture apartments in big cities or houses in established neighborhoods. But the real secret to multiplying money in this sector is looking ahead of the crowd, at regions that are still growing and therefore have much lower prices. Imagine someone who, 20 years ago, bought a small lot in an outlying area where there was almost no commerce, schools, or transportation. At the time, many thought it was crazy, but over time, that area turned into a complete neighborhood full of services, raising the land's value many times over the initial price. That's the power of investing off the radar, when almost no one is paying attention. Land in smaller cities, areas near new highways, or even tourist regions that are starting to gain traction can be disguised gold mines. Unlike ready-made properties, which require high initial investment, land is often much cheaper and easier to maintain. Besides that, there's the power of time. Land doesn't age. While a house needs maintenance and renovations, the land stays there, often appreciating, simply because of the natural growth of the region. It's like keeping a seed in the soil. At first it seems nothing happens, but one day it sprouts and surprises everyone. Those who learn to observe urban movements, new infrastructure projects, and migration trends can spot where the future will flourish. And it's in these places, still empty today, that the biggest opportunities to multiply wealth may be found tomorrow. Few people know, but it's possible to earn recurring income not only by investing in companies or real estate, but also in ideas. We're talking about royalties and copyrights, invisible assets that keep generating income long after they're created. Think of a famous song. The singer may have recorded it 20 years ago, but every time it plays on the radio, in concerts, movies, or digital platforms, someone gets a share of that money. That's a royalty. The same happens with books, patents, and even technological inventions. Once something is created and registered, every use generates a payment to the rights holder. And the most interesting part, you don't need to be a musician, writer, or inventor to take part in this. Today, there are already funds and platforms that allow you to invest in music catalogs, book rights, or even patents. It's as if you bought a slice of that work and started receiving a share of the profits. This type of investment has a unique advantage. It's disconnected from the traditional economy. While stocks and real estate can fluctuate during crises, A hit song or an essential patent keeps generating money regardless of the economic scenario. It's like having a secret water source in the desert, always flowing, even when everything around it dries up. Great investors know that diversifying also means looking at these invisible assets. After all, a single song or a useful patent can guarantee stable income for decades. For a long time, investing in large real estate projects like shopping malls, office buildings, or luxury condos seemed like a privilege reserved for millionaires. But today, there's a little explored path that opens this door to anyone: real estate crowdfunding. Here's how it works. Instead of a single investor putting millions into a project, many people come together, each contributing smaller amounts. It's as if dozens or even hundreds of small investors became partners in the same project. This way, with just a few thousand reais or dollars, it's already possible to take part in businesses that were once unreachable. Think of the construction of a new condominium. You contribute a small amount. As the development is sold, part of the profit returns to you, proportional to your investment. The interesting part is that these projects usually have a defined timeline, which gives predictability of return. The most powerful aspect of real estate crowdfunding is that it democratizes access. You don't need to buy an entire building, just a slice of it. That way, your money can be spread across several projects at the same time, reducing risks and increasing your chances of multiplication. It's like joining forces with other travelers to build a bridge. Alone, you could never do it, but together, everyone crosses to the other side and shares the benefits. When someone mentions cryptocurrencies, almost everyone immediately thinks of Bitcoin. But what few people realize is that the crypto universe goes far beyond it. And within this hidden universe lie opportunities that can multiply money in surprising ways. There are cryptocurrency projects created to solve real problems, such as improving transaction speed, enabling automatic digital contracts, the famous smart contracts, or even providing access to financial services in countries where banks don't reach. These lesser-known coins, when carefully chosen, can have massive potential for appreciation. A clear example is utility tokens, which work as keys to access certain digital platforms. If the platform grows and attracts millions of users, the token naturally rises in value. Another case is coins tied to decentralized finance, DeFi projects, which enable loans, investments, and payments without bank intermediation. Of course, the risk also exists, and it's not small. Just as some of these coins may grow 10, 50, or even 100 times, others may simply vanish. That's why the secret lies in studying the fundamentals, understanding the team behind it, the problem the project solves, and the market it operates. And it's like exploring a new territory. Among many ordinary stones, there are a few gems that can change the life of whoever finds them. And savvy investors know that diversifying a small portion of their portfolio into alternative cryptocurrencies can be the key to extraordinary gains. If you look back, you'll notice that many of the world's largest companies started small, almost invisible. Apple was born in a garage. Amazon started by selling books online. Google began as a simple university search engine. Today, they move trillions of dollars. What do these examples have in common? Those who believed in them early multiplied their fortunes in unimaginable ways. That's what happens when you invest in startups and innovative companies. Startups are young businesses, usually created to solve problems differently, faster, and more efficiently. They start small, but carry huge growth potential. It's like betting on a rare seed that can become a giant tree. The investor who gets in early with a startup takes on more risk. It's true. After all, not all will succeed, but those that do make up for all the others. Imagine putting just a few $1,000s into Netflix when it was still renting DVDs by mail. Today, that amount could have turned into millions. What makes this type of investment special is the exponential potential. While traditional companies grow in small steps, startups can scale at an impressive pace. They leverage technology, the internet, and new business models to reach millions of customers in a short time. And the most interesting part is that nowadays, investing in startups is no longer something restricted to big funds or millionaires. There are equity crowdfunding platforms that allow ordinary people to buy small stakes in promising companies. It's as if you could become a shareholder of a new Amazon or Uber while still in the cradle, when almost no one has heard of them. Of course, the secret is in the analysis, looking at the founding team, understanding the market in which the company operates, and assessing whether the solution truly has the potential to change people's lives. Great fortunes have been built because someone saw the future before the majority. Investing in startups is, at its core, believing in the power of innovation and having the courage to bet on something new. It may seem risky at first, but it's precisely that boldness that separates ordinary investors from those who manage to multiply their wealth in extraordinary ways. Multiplying money doesn't just mean working harder or constantly chasing new income streams. There's a silent, almost invisible path that great investors know well: passive income. Passive income is money that keeps coming in without you having to dedicate constant effort. It's as if you created machines that work for you day and night, never asking for vacations. These invisible assets often go unnoticed, but they can completely transform the way you handle your finances. An example is REITs, international real estate funds, which allow you to receive rent from large properties without ever having bought a building. You become a shareholder in shopping malls, offices, and logistics warehouses, and in return, you receive a share of the profit monthly. Another example is royalty funds. They pool together catalogs of music, books, or patents and distribute the profits among investors every time these rights are used. That's money flowing into your account without additional effort. Even a well-chosen franchise can work this way. Once structured and with a trained team, the business runs almost on its own while you reap the rewards. The power of passive income lies in a simple but transformative idea. Stop trading hours of work for money and start building systems that operate independently of your time. It's like planting trees that year after year keep bearing fruit, even if you're no longer tending them daily. When people talk about commodities, almost everyone thinks of gold and oil. But there are lesser-known natural resources that can be gold mines for those who know how to spot trends. Take lithium, for example, essential for manufacturing electric car batteries. 20 years ago, hardly anyone mentioned it. Today, those who invested early in this sector saw its value skyrocket. The same is true for copper, used in nearly all electrical infrastructure, and nickel, crucial for the tech industry. Another interesting point is that forgotten commodities are often tied to global shifts. When humanity changes habits, like the push for clean energy or electric cars, certain materials turn into pure gold. Investing in them can be done through commodity ETFs, mining company stocks, or even specialized funds. The key is vision, looking at where the world is heading and identifying which resources will be indispensable in that future. It's like buying rare seeds before a wave of scarcity. By the time everyone realizes their importance, the price has already soared. There's a silent transformation happening in the world. Populations are aging. In many countries, especially developed ones, there are more and more people over 60, and with this comes a massive market known as the silver economy. This sector covers everything that meets the needs and desires of older adults, from specialized health plans, medicines and supplements to travel, gyms, courses and adapted technology. After all, who says people over 60 don't want to learn, have fun, or take care of their bodies? For the attentive investor, this means opportunity. healthcare funds, biotech companies, medical equipment makers, clinic networks, and even leisure. Businesses targeting this audience could multiply in the coming years. A clear example comes from Japan, a country that has been dealing with this aging trend for decades. Entire markets have emerged there around adapted housing, assistant robots, and wellness services. And this wave is already reaching many other parts of the world. It's like a tide that rises slowly but steadily. Those who put their boats in the water first sail calmly and go farther. Ignoring the silver economy is like closing your eyes to one of the greatest consumer movements of the century. The way the world produces food is changing rapidly. More and more people are concerned with health, the environment, and quality of life. And this opens the door to a billion-dollar market, sustainable agriculture, and organic foods. Today, entire supermarkets are dedicated to pesticide-free, non-GMO, and ecologically produced products. Restaurants offer entire menus focused on this audience, and savvy investors are already noticing that fertile land, clean agricultural technology, and strong organic brands are assets that tend to rise in value. Think, for example, of a small farm adopting sustainable techniques and starting to supply major retailers. At first, it seems like a simple business. But as global demand for healthy products grows, the value of that production skyrockets. The same happens with green biotech companies developing seeds, biofertilizers, and technologies to reduce environmental impact. This type of investment combines two powerful forces, profit and purpose. In addition to multiplying wealth, those who bet on this sector help transform the planet's future. It's like planting a tree that not only bears fruit, but also guarantees shade and clean air for future generations. If there's one sector growing fast and set to transform fortunes, it's renewable energy. The whole world is searching for clean alternatives to oil and coal, and this energy transition opens up opportunities that few are really seizing. Think of solar panels. A few years ago, they were expensive and inaccessible. Today, they are increasingly affordable and found in homes, businesses, and even farms. Those who invested early in solar companies have already seen impressive growth in stock values. The same is happening with wind energy, green hydrogen, and even energy storage projects, which are crucial for keeping the grid stable. Another powerful detail: governments worldwide are offering incentives and subsidies for companies and investors who back clean energy. This means that in addition to the sector's natural growth, there's extra support accelerating profits. Investing in renewable energy is not just about putting money into a promising business. It's betting on an inevitable global movement. After all, the planet has no choice. It must shift to sustainable sources, and those who enter early reap the rewards of this change. It's like spotting a tide rising from afar. By the time everyone notices, it's too late to catch the wave. Those who get in early surf the growth smoothly. If you've followed along this far, you've realized there are far more ways to multiply your money than most people imagine. While 95% of people remain stuck in the same traditional strategies, savings accounts, basic stocks, obvious real estate, there exists a universe of hidden opportunities, silent but extremely powerful. We've talked about alternative investments, international assets, digital businesses, dividends, off-the-radar land, royalties, crowdfunding, cryptocurrencies beyond Bitcoin, startups, invisible passive income, and even explored areas like forgotten commodities, the silver economy, sustainable agriculture, and renewable energy. All of this shows that the future belongs to those who see beyond the obvious and have the courage to take the first step. Wealth doesn't come only from working harder or waiting for luck, but from learning to look where almost no one else looks. It's like walking down a busy road and suddenly finding a secret trail that takes you to your destination faster and more safely. And now I want to invite you. If this content opened your mind and showed you new possibilities for your financial life, share this video with your friends and family. Maybe someone close to you is in need of exactly this information to change their story. The more people become aware of these opportunities, the more we'll be able to achieve financial freedom. And remember, knowledge only has value when it's put into practice and when it's shared. So go ahead and share this video now and help others discover ways to multiply money that almost no one knows about.